This whole situation didn't start in a boardroom. It didn't start in a studio.
Get off your mother and go make some mother sense of yourself. Get off your mother and go do something for your mother self.
It started on Facebook Live. On February 4th, 2026, Victoria Scarface Woods, sister of rising Memphis star GloRilla, went live and lit a match that would set the internet on fire. She accused her own sister of abandoning the family. Victoria claimed their mother was still clocking shifts at FedEx. She said one brother was grinding DoorDash deliveries just to survive. She said another brother, who is autistic, wasn't receiving any help at all. And then she dropped the bomb. GloRilla had been famous for 4 years and hadn't sent a dime back home. Victoria didn't speak in vague subtweets. She got specific, personal, emotional. "You know how embarrassing it is," she said, "to be at the club, people calling you Glo's sister, and you walk outside to a Chevrolet Malibu?" That clip spread like wildfire. Within hours, it was all over X, Instagram, YouTube reaction channels. Everybody had an opinion, but nobody came louder than Finesse 2 Times. Finesse 2 Times, government name Ricky Hampton Jr., wasn't a random outsider. He and GloRilla shared Memphis roots and industry connections. They both came up through the XXL 2023 freshman class. There was real proximity there. So when Victoria's video started circulating, Finesse didn't stay quiet. He reposted a clip and wrote, "Somebody tell GloRilla's sister to STFDU." That was just the appetizer. 2 days later, after Victoria doubled down in a TMZ interview saying all she wanted was $2,500, Finesse went live, and he did not sugarcoat a single word. He told Victoria she had no business demanding money from a career she didn't build. He said, "You don't go to the internet airing out family because you're broke." He told her to get up and go secure her own bag. He even started listing ways she could make money. Then he made it personal, comparing her to a cousin of his who always expected handouts but never put in work. The rant racked up thousands of views almost instantly. Clips spread across Academics Page, XXL, and dozens of reaction channels. And just like that, Finesse inserted himself directly into a family war that wasn't originally his. Victoria fired back. Victoria didn't fold. She shot back on Facebook, accusing Finesse of not even taking care of his own mother. If he wanted to preach about hustle and loyalty, she was going to question his credibility. Now his mother was dragged into it, and she broke her silence, publicly defending her son. What started as sister versus sister had officially turned into multiple families, multiple Instagram lives, and rappers across the industry chiming in. Then the game weighed in. When the game posted in support of GloRilla, saying she wasn't obligated to hold the whole family down, Finesse didn't let that slide either. He called the game a hypocrite. He brought up the game's own messy family history and basically said, where was all that energy then? That's what made Finesse's involvement different. He wasn't just defending GloRilla, he was checking everyone. Victoria for entitlement, the game for hypocrisy.
Anybody who expected to eat off somebody else's plate without bringing anything to the table. His message was simple: go get your own, and he said it louder than anyone else in this entire situation. If Victoria wanted money, GloRilla had a message. There are jobs out there. When she posted that Indeed link on her story, she didn't need to type a caption. The message was loud enough. It carried the same energy Finesse 2 Times would scream hours later, but Glo delivered it quietly. That was just round 1. Then she made a move most celebrities would never dare to make in the middle of public family drama. She went live, and she called her parents on camera. The phone call that shifted everything. Thousands were watching in real time. She asked her parents directly, "Have I been taking care of y'all?" It wasn't subtle. She was putting them on the spot publicly. And according to the live, her parents confirmed she had retired them. That single moment flipped the chessboard. Because Victoria's strongest argument was that their mother was still grinding at FedEx. If the parents themselves were saying Glo looked out, then what exactly was this really about? That's when the situation went from money to something much darker. The allegations that changed the tone. During that same live, GloRilla didn't just deny the accusations, she opened a vault of old trauma. Calmly, directly. You don't have to say what you did to me as a kid, how you got me sent to jail, how you tried to shoot me and set me up. Those weren't petty sibling complaints. Those were allegations of violence, entrapment, betrayal. She said Victoria tried to shoot her. She said Victoria set her up. She said she spent a week in jail because of her. And she didn't yell it. She said it like someone who had been holding it in for years. Then she made a statement that told you everything about their relationship. I do not appreciate what Victoria's doing to my family. Not our family, my family. That wording hit different because it suggested the bond between them had been broken long before any record deal. Now the conversation wasn't about generosity. It became, why would someone expect financial loyalty from a person who claims you tried to harm them?
Victoria pushes back, but the momentum shifts. Victoria responded by questioning the authenticity of the text messages Glo posted. She claimed their mother doesn't type like that. She continued attacking Glo's label situation and public image, but the momentum had shifted. The internet was no longer debating FedEx shifts and DoorDash deliveries. Now it was dissecting a fractured childhood. The backstory that adds context. In her April 2024 interview on Club Shay Shay, GloRilla had already spoken about her upbringing, a Memphis home infested with rats and roaches, sharing an air mattress until age 15, washing up with bottled water when the lights were cut off, homeschooled under strict religious structure, not entering a real classroom until 5th grade. That was the environment both sisters came from, but their exits were completely different. Glo poured everything into music. Early Memphis grind, most likely up next in 2019, P status in 2020. Then, in April 2022, FNF Let's Go exploded on TikTok, Grammy nomination, deal with Yo Gotti CMG, features with Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, Billboard 200 debut album. She built leverage, and as Finesse kept hammering home, building leverage is not the same thing as inheriting responsibility for everyone else. The rap game picks sides. What could have stayed a family dispute turned into an industry referendum. The OG stamp. The game jumped in first, publicly backing Glo. She don't owe nobody nothing. A hard line. No gray area. Blow up doesn't equal automatic payroll for every blood relative. That cosign carried weight, but Finesse wasn't letting it slide. He called the game hypocritical, pointing at his own messy family history. Finesse wasn't picking easy targets, he was checking everybody. The entertained observer. Freddie Gibbs reacted differently. He laughed. No passionate speech, no moral stance, just amusement at what had turned into a full-blown reality show. And that resonated with a segment of fans who saw this as entertainment spiraling out of control. The middle ground. Then came Boosie Badass, probably the most grounded take of anyone. He broke down how fans wildly overestimate how much money rappers actually keep. Deals, publishing splits, taxes, touring expenses, management cuts. Gross revenue is not net wealth. He said artists should help family when they can, just not at the cost of bankrupting themselves. It was the first balanced perspective in a debate that had become extreme on both ends. The curveball nobody expected. Then came the wildest twist. Tory Lanez, who was incarcerated at the time, allegedly sent Victoria the full $2,500 she had asked for. Victoria confirmed it publicly. That move split the internet. Some said it made Glo look bad. Others called it a calculated PR play. Either way, it poured gasoline on a fire that was already burning non-stop across blogs, YouTube channels, and TikTok feeds. What this really turned into. This stopped being about two sisters. It became a referendum on a bigger question. What do successful people owe the people they came up with? Every rapper who spoke became a spokesperson for a philosophy: absolute independence, conditional responsibility, middle ground realism, or pure entertainment. And while the industry debated on Instagram, the fans went to war in comment sections. Because at its core, this wasn't about GloRilla, it was about everybody's personal experiences with family, money, trauma, and loyalty. And that's why it exploded. This situation didn't just trend, it hit a nerve, a deep one. Because at the center of GloRilla versus Victoria fallout is a question that cuts through culture, poverty, loyalty, and survival. If you make it out, are you required to carry everyone with you, even if some of those same people were part of what you had to escape? The internet split into camps. The pro-GloRilla side was loud, relentless. Comment sections under the Shade Room and other blogs were flooded with one message: entitlement is real. Go get your own money. Nobody owes you their check. It echoed Finesse 2 times almost word for word. On X, supporters framed it as boundary setting, as self-preservation. Some pointed to Glo's childhood trauma, the rats, the roaches, the air mattress, CPS involvement, and argued, if she cut Victoria off, there's probably a reason. Others said something even more direct. Walking away from toxicity, even when it's family, isn't abandonment, it's survival. But the pro-Victoria voices weren't silent. That camp argued from morality, from communal values, from the idea that when you're blessed, you bless others. They said you can't build a brand on shared poverty stories, then refuse to share the dividends. They pointed out the $2,500 ask wasn't outrageous compared to industry wealth. They said when you have 10 siblings and aging parents, the moral math changes. Capacity to help matters, and the need runs deeper. The third group, handle it offline. Then there was a large third crowd, the ones saying, log off, this should have never hit Facebook Live. To them, both sisters lost when it became public performance. Whatever Victoria's grievances were, taking them to TMZ torched any chance of quiet resolution. And whatever boundaries Glo set, defending them through screenshots and live phone calls turned pain into content. For them, the platform was the problem. The bigger pattern. This isn't new. Celebrity success has always come with a hidden tax: expectations. Be grateful, share generously, protect your bag, set boundaries, stay humble, stunt enough to prove you made it. Do all of that under surveillance. History shows what usually happens. Tyler Perry gave families 6 days to find jobs after his mother passed. Tough love to cut dependency. Mariah Carey cut off siblings she described as toxic. Eminem turned family trauma into platinum albums while keeping distance. 50 Cent severed ties with relatives he accused of trying to eat off his plate. Britney Spears publicly accused her family during her conservatorship battle, and public sympathy largely went her way. In nearly every case, the star who drew firm lines survived, sometimes even thrived. The family members who went public rarely won long-term. Where things stand, as of now, there's no resolution, just an open wound.
A private family fracture that became an industry spectacle. Tory Lanez sending the $2,500 added another unpredictable twist. Rappers debated, fans went to war, blogs monetized every update, and like always, the algorithm moved on. The final reckoning. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Money doesn't fix trauma. Fame doesn't heal betrayal, and success doesn't erase history. Sometimes the people cheering for reconciliation have never had to escape something. Sometimes the people yelling she owes them have never been the one who carried the burden. And sometimes the hardest boundary to draw is with blood. Whether Finesse 2 times jumped in out of loyalty, conviction, or instinct for viral moments,
His involvement guaranteed this burned hotter and longer. But when the clips stop circulating, when the comments cool off, this won't be about shade room headlines. It'll still be about two sisters, and a question the culture still hasn't answered. Is making it out about saving everyone or saving yourself? If you enjoyed this breakdown, click one of the videos on your screen right now for another deep dive into the stories shaping hip-hop culture.